Today, 5 signs that twin flame union is near. So I'm going to list off the signs, right? And then we'll come back and I'll explain each one of them, exactly what they are, and also how you can tell these are the real signs. There's a pretty logical way to figure this out. You know, there seems to be a lot of confusion on the internet about twin flames. So I'm going to try to clear some of that confusion up for you today. So sign number 1, you haven't given them a thought in ages. It's been a minute, like weeks or months. They haven't really crossed your mind. I mean, maybe once or twice, but not really. You're just not really focused on them. This isn't soulmates. This isn't soulmates. It works different, guys. Okay, number 2, 80% of you will experience something called Kundalini. And we're going to talk about exactly what that is, because the second I mention Kundalini, there's all these people that start trying to add stuff to it, like my foot hurts or my back hurts. That's not Kundalini. And it's not my definition of Kundalini. There is a definition of Kundalini. So we'll talk about that. And again, only 8 out of 10 of you will experience it. So you gotta at least get the other 4 signs for sure, right? Okay, sign number 3, you're gonna become psychic. All of you, 100% of you. That sounds fucking crazy, but it's true. Knowing information about the future and then it comes true. Reliably. That's cool. That's cool as shit. All right. Number 4, something called union. And I'm not talking about what you think I'm talking about. Because, excuse me, the word union, it's not a relationship status with your twin flame. Other words to describe this thing, you could call, I guess, Satori, Samadhi, unity consciousness, an experience of oneness, right? There's a lot of different words to describe it, but the reason I'm calling it union is because we need to talk about that word, what that word really is. Because it's not a relationship status with your twin flame. And when you do this journey properly, you can get your twin flame to be with you, yes. What you guys are calling union, yes, okay. Number 5, you just know. You just know, it's this knowing. And that's going to make a lot more sense to you when we talk about sign number 3. Because the knowing that I speak of, it's not mental or emotional. It's not coming from your mind. You just know that you guys are going to be together and you're like, yeah, how do I know that, right? It's weird. It's weird, but that's called intuition, right? That's that's a form of psychic ability. Okay. So let's go back to number 1. You haven't given them a thought in a long time. Right. Well, guys, I've talked about this plenty of times. The reason your twin flame runs is because of a thing called the twin flame push-pull, right? It's metaphysical. It's metaphysical. You see this diagram? Here, I got another one. Actually, I should pull up here. Because see, this is not soulmates, okay? This is a direct experience with your soul, right? Remember, your twin flame is your soul, right? Your twin flame is your soul. It's reincarnation, just like this book here. Everybody knows about this. Like, it's actually not hard to understand what twin flames are. I've even made videos about that. If you would care to check them out, there's a playlist on my YouTube channel called Twin Flame Science. Watch the first 2 videos. What seems to be going on is your twin flame is one of your past lives. Serious. That you lived. You are your twin flame. Yes, you are the same soul. Yes. It's true. There's no time, guys. But there is reincarnation, so you can hop all around in time. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you really did meet your soul. And there's a scientific reason that explains why they run. Okay, it's a mechanical reason. It's a mechanical reason. It's not like psychological, like, oh, they got, like some kind of trauma. They got what do you call that? You know, everybody's got all these weird, well, they're not weird, but what is it called? Hold on. I don't know, you know, like codependency or whatever, right? I don't know, whatever it is. No, it's none of that kind of stuff. It's this. This isn't soulmates. If it was a soulmate, working out that kind of psychological stuff, it would help. It would work. Yes, it very well could work. But this isn't soulmates, dude. This is your soul. And there's a direct mechanical reason. This is a direct experience with your soul. So there's this polarization at the mental level. Remember, you are body, mind, soul. Well, at the level of the soul, you and your twin flame are completely uniform. But excuse me, but at the level of the mind, you guys are polarized because of this. The second law of thermodynamics. You push, they pull away, right? That's the twin flame push-pull. I'm sure you've heard of it. And some people think it's like gender-based, like divine feminine, divine masculine. Well, that's not really it. Those are labels. Those are just labels, and they're fine. Labels are fine. But what's really going on with those labels is this, guys. The universe is duality, and so is your mind. Everything in the universe is duality. But the soul is beyond duality, at least from the relative perspective that we have down here in density, right, in the 3D. So that's what the yin-yang symbol is talking about. And in the science world, they just call it relativity, but we're all talking about the same thing, right? So you've heard of Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, right? So everything in the universe, up, down, hot, cold, this, that, here, there, more, less. Also with your mind, it's I like it, I don't like it, I agree, I disagree, it's correct, it's incorrect, it's on, it's off, I feel good, I feel bad, so emotions too, right? So there's this polarization with you and your twin flame, and only with you and your twin flame, because there's technically not two of you. There's not two of you. There's one, guys. You're not separate from your twin flame. That's another thing we're going to talk about in a few minutes. That word separation, that's also not a relationship status with your twin flame. So this is why they run. So when you focus on them mentally, emotionally, or metaphysically, they focus on anything but you. You push, they pull away. You focus on them, they focus on anything but you. Anything but you. That's why, like, people in the twin flame community, they're always worried about, like, some karmic person, which that's not even a real thing. And, you know, getting into those kind of like judgmental outcome-based behaviors, that's part of the reason why your twin flame is running, because you're focusing on them. You're trying to make an outcome out of it. You're trying to say being with them is the goal. And I just made a video about that last week, actually, how that's actually holding you back. Like you're never going to be with them if you're making them the goal and you're thinking about them a lot, right? And I know that sounds hard for a lot of you watching right now because you've got the obsessive thinking. Oh, hell, I'll never forget that one. I met my twin flame, right? And she's in my life, guys. She is permanently in my life. And I've coached all these people, 7,000 twin flames. I've helped students of mine to get married to their twin flame, Ruxar, Baya, SJ, Ivy, Chanel, Natasha, Gretel, Carly. I got John and Tanaya, they're married to their twin flames. And then there's thousands of people that have left comments all over my YouTube channel. I'm the only twin flame coach in the world that's helped that many people to be with their twin flame. It can happen, guys. And I'm telling you, right before they come to be with you, or they're going to at least unblock you, at minimum, you'll hear from them, right? You're not going to be thinking about them. And you might be sitting there going, well, how? How's that even possible? Because I got the obsessive thinking. You got to stop chasing them. Here's what I always tell people. Number one, you got to let go of the twin flame myths. Number two, you got to stop chasing your twin flame. You got to make yourself, like, stop stalking them. Stop obsessing over them on their social media. Stop looking at their pictures and stuff. You just got to stop focusing on them so much. You got to make yourself do it. And number 3, you got to replace all the twin flame frenzy with spiritual stuff, real spiritualism like this. See this book? Eckhart Tolle is more or less the modern day Buddha, right? So Buddha, Jesus, Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Charlotte Jacques Beck, Alan Watts, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle, right? They're all talking about the same thing. And it's genuine spiritualism, right? Zen. Going beyond the mind, right? Not the kind of like pop culture woo-woo stuff on the internet, you know, crystals and clearing your chakras and all that kind of stuff. And that stuff is fine. That stuff is cool and everything. You know, I do some of that stuff. But it's actually like, those things are actually more like metaphysics or even psychology, like healing. Totally great. But they don't even work right if you don't have actual spiritualism at the core first anyway. So this is why you met your twin flame, guys. To do this. And get this. The name of the first chapter of the book, The Power of Now here, it's called You Are Not Your Mind. Yeah, you're a soul. Well, who are you beyond the mind? You're a soul, right? But what is that? Let's do an exercise. If you're new here, you've never seen me do this before. Okay. There's thoughts and emotions going on. And have you ever said to yourself, why am I thinking about this? Why am I feeling this emotion right now? Right? You ever said that to yourself? Everybody has at some point. Okay. How is it that there is thinking and awareness of the thinking? What is the awareness itself? Think about it. No pun intended. What is that? What is consciousness? Because it's not thinking. Thinking is actually the object of consciousness, which means consciousness came first. Oh, right. That's the soul, guys. You know, everybody knows, any psychologist, they'll tell you that your personality really isn't fully formed until the age of 7 or 8. So what's going on with a newborn baby? Just nothing? They're just empty? Lifeless? No, they're alive. So what's going on inside the newborn baby? Just pure consciousness, guys. There's no thought or memory retention. See, the ego mind is a collection of retained thought and emotional patterns that you've been collecting since you were a child. And you think that that's you now, the personality. And as far as being a mortal human is concerned, yeah, that is kind of who you are. But who you really are beyond that is the soul, consciousness. So you got to go there, guys. That's how you stop thinking about your twin flame. Again, let go of the myths. I'll link a video down below for you about the twin flame myths. You should also go check out my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. Any question that you got, it's on there, guys. There's always somebody asking a lovely question, wonderful question, great questions that you guys ask in the comments, and it's like, well, here, I've got a video, right? So go check it out. I got so many videos in there. Here's another thing that you should do. You should check out my free masterclass, by the way. Before I forget, I got a free masterclass you could go watch right now. It's absolutely free. It's the #1 mistake everybody makes on the twin flame journey, because that's the biggest myth of all. It's the biggest myth of all, that this works just like soulmates somehow, or that it's like super soulmates. Yeah, no, it's not. This is nothing like soulmates. It's your soul, and you got to get that straightened out. So go check out my masterclass. It's free. There's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching on Facebook, up in the description, right? Go check it out. Free masterclass, the #1 mistake everybody makes on the twin flame journey. And then again, there's my twin flame myths video. That's going to be down there. So check those out. That's step #1. Again, #2, you got to make yourself stop chasing them. Physically and emotionally. Pining for them, yearning for them, right? It doesn't matter if you're not physically chasing them. You're still going to cause this to happen if you're sitting around thinking about them a lot. This push-pull, it's energetic, guys. You are one being with them. So there is a direct mechanical reason they run. Right? Okay, and then #3, transcending the mind. Read this book, learn to meditate, experience yourself as consciousness. Now, I've done an awful lot of setup. Just talking about point #1. We're going to blast through the rest of these talking points now. #2 is Kundalini. And again, about 80% of you are going to experience Kundalini, which means 20% of you will not. Kundalini, if you're not sure what that is, Google it. It's a very well-defined phenomenon. I'm not going to tell you what I think it is. I'm telling you what it is. But again, people add stuff to it. I don't get it. Every time, I think it's because they want to be with their twin flame. And so they go, oh, well, my back hurts. That's Kundalini. No, that's not Kundalini. Well, I've got tingling in my third eye. That's not Kundalini. Although that is a metaphysical thing that could happen. Yes, that could happen. Absolutely. But that's just, it's not Kundalini. Kundalini is this energy that starts at the base of your spine, so like your tailbone, and it travels all the way up and out your crown. And it's this feeling of like anti-gravity, like you're being pulled up into the sky. Or you could also feel like you're being pulled around, like in front of you and behind you, this energy pulling you everywhere. About half of the people that meet their twin flame, so not all of you, but about half of you, you're even going to feel energy pulling towards your twin flame. And they're going to feel it pushing onto them because of this. That happens to about half the people. So very interesting, Kundalini. Okay, #3, having psychic experiences. Now, most people, when they hear the word psychic, what they think of is telepathy, like in their third eye, right? And that can happen too, but that's not as common as intuition, which for the most part you're going to experience in your heart. Sometimes you can get it like in your sacral or your solar plexus, right? But most of the time it's going to be in your heart. And it's this weird, eerie knowing. You just know things. The way I usually explain this to people is it feels exactly like deja vu. So technically, deja vu is a form of intuition, right? And I think of deja vu as like a timeline shift. That's the best I can tell, like what it's for, like what you're being told. Because it's coming from your higher self, your soul in heaven, if you will, right? The energy part of the universe. But it's this weird knowing. Like with deja vu, you're like, how do I know I've been here before? And then the mind starts thinking about it, right? How do I know I've been here before? Did I have a dream last night? Did I do this last week? Did I do this yesterday? Blah, 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 blah. But there's thinking and knowing. Why? Because the mind is clear that the knowing, it ain't coming from the mind. It's not a thought, and it's not an emotion. That's why it's such a mystery to the mind when it's thinking about it. And again, you think that you are the thinker. Remember, we just talked about that. And that's not really you, because you are not your mind. Just like the book says, first chapter, right? So who you are is actually the intuition. Now, when it's intuition, it has that weird, eerie knowing quality to it, like deja vu, except the information is different. So instead of, I've been here before, it's going to be something about the future or something about another person. And here's what I tell people. I tell my coaching students this. I go, hey, write it all down. Write everything down. Every time you experience intuition, write it down. Whatever the information was, you're not going to get it exactly perfect. Just write it down the best that you can. Write it down. Write down the date. That you got the intuition. and within a certain amount of time, a couple of years, could take a few years, it could be a couple of months, I don't know. But eventually you'll start to see how it all makes sense. Anyway, I made a video about this. I'll link it down below for you, called Understanding Intuition, where I explain that more in depth. So, and again, this happens to 100% of the people that met their twin flame. Becoming psychic, having intuition. Okay, number 4, union. Well, union really is a word from the Zen traditions used to describe this experience of oneness with all. So the clouds and the sky and the trees and the people and the buildings and everything, you feel one with everything. And it's not even that. Technically, it's not that you feel one with everything. It's that there's just one thing. That's all of it. And I am that. And that's it. There's just one thing. It's a very strange experience. And again, it has that weird knowing quality to it that we just talked about. And it's right around that time you should hear from your twin. You should hear from them if they've been, rejecting you or whatever. They'll probably unblock you and start talking to you again. But that's what the word union really is. And I even made a video specifically about the words separation, union, and detaching, what those words really mean. I'm going to link it down below for you. It's called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. Those words don't come from twin flames, guys. Those are states of consciousness. So go check that video out. Number 5, you should be perfectly clear by now what this is. You just know. You just know you're going to be with them. It's this knowing. It's intuition, and you just know it. You just know it. That's the 5 signs, my friends. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. See you later.